Hey y'all, hey. Do you want to know what a quantum shift really looks like? And sometimes people don't tell you what it really looks like. This is my dog, Bentley. And he's so cute. He is the cutest. But listen. This dog looks completely different than he did like a while ago. And I'm going to tell you a story because the way that the universe gives me things, a lot of times it's in everyday analogies. So a lot of times our quantum leaps, you can go up if you want today. Go ahead. A lot of times quantum leaping and quantum jumps don't look like you think they should, or they don't look like you think they will. So I'm just going to give you an example. I'll be honest. Like sometimes a lot of us, especially, first of all, what is quantum leaping? What is quantum physics? What is quantum jumping? Baby, listen, we got Google, we got YouTubers, we got TikTokers that can go over all that information for you. If you don't understand it and don't know, there's too much knowledge out there for you not to go down that rabbit hole, okay? So we're going to just jump to it. A lot of times especially when we're new in it, we think that a quantum leap looks like this, that we fall asleep one day and wake up the next day and we're a millionaire, right? In our minds. And a lot of times, why do we equate that to money? But anywho, but that's not what it looks like. But in order to create a quantum leap in your life, you do have to become a version of yourself that you are not presently. Hear that again. In order to achieve a quantum leap, you have to become a version of yourself that you are not currently. So that's where the story comes in, right? And a lot of times quantum leaps are big, but there's a process behind it. So let me get into the story. I bought my dog on here for a reason. Like I said, he does not look anything like he did a day ago, a week ago, a month ago, okay? So I'm going to back up to about August. We had to move. We had to move from where we were, like out of nowhere, out of the blue, within like 2 weeks. I'm like, what is going on? So it was not enough time for me to, make the plans that I wanted to make and get some things in order. So I moved back in with my daughter. I moved back in with my daughter and just making it work like it's like a 1-bedroom. In my mind, it's like a 1-bedroom studio with a walk-in closet, all those things. So we're working it out. And that was back in about August and about September. And this is a quantum jump for a dog, okay? So about September, my daughter comes to me. She was like, I seen a couple of fleas downstairs. I'm like, what? I know my baby ain't got no fleas. So I'm checking his fur and everything because he's all big and fluffy, like he's a Maltipoo. So he's got big fluffy hair. His hair's not so much curly, except when it's real short, but he's got real fluffy hair. So I'm checking him. I don't see anything. So this is back in September. So I'm like, okay. So in about early October, he starts itching and everything. I'm checking. I don't see anything, but I'm like, let me take a precautionary and go get him. Like I ordered like this flea peel online and a flea collar. He's still scratching. I'm like, okay, something's up. So a couple weeks later into the end of October, I'm rubbing my baby down and he, he's a very furry creature. And I notice I'm feeling like, wait a minute, there's some like dandruff in there. So I'm like, I know that that's not dandruff. Well, here's where the quantum shift begins. So this was on a Saturday. So I knew my vet was not open on a Saturday, right? So I began to say, okay, you could try to find something online. You can go to the pet store or you could find a vet. So I had a choice to make. So I found a vet that was open on Saturdays. So I take you to the vet. They, he has to have a checkup. They've never seen him before. So they give him the flea pill. We come home and they say, well, let me back up. Before we leave, I asked them about the groomers. And they were like, well, we need to get your records from your vet to make sure all of his vaccinations are up to date so that we can get him into the groomer. So I'm like, okay. And I'm like weighing out my options because I'm like, I already got a groomer at, where he is, but I know it's going to take a couple of weeks for him to get in, and he needed to be groomed too. So that was on Saturday. Monday, they called me like, hey, we got his records. He needs to get his vaccinations this year. So I'm like, okay. And I'm going to be honest. I'm like, okay. Even taking him to the vet, I was like, I had the money, but I didn't have the money. So now I had the money, but I didn't have the money. And I didn't have the money to spend. But I'm like, okay, it's coming from somewhere, for him. So the very next week, something amazing, happened in our household, So it was just like money raining down everywhere, right? Money raining down everywhere. But that's neither here nor there. But there was money that came in for me to get all of his vaccinations. So when I go, and I'm intentional with this, so the second visit to the vet, I'm there. And they're like, he's just seeing a technician. You can stay back here while he gets his vaccination. So I'm sitting there, and then I've noticed this big fancy dog comes in, big Great Dane with this sweater. He comes in, and he's part of the doggy daycare. I'm like, oh, okay, so they have a doggy daycare here. They have grooming services. So I said, okay, let me follow up and see when the groomer is going to be ready while he's back there. And they said, they looked up, and this was on a Thursday. So they look up, they're like, oh, we can get him in on Saturday. I'm like, what? And I'm thinking, my groomer is going to take like 2 to 3 weeks to get him in after the vaccination. You mean to tell me? They were like, yep. So I'm like, okay. So he comes out, gets his vaccinations, and then 2 days later, I'm excited for him. Because I know that, he's getting groomed. He's getting the things that he needs. I got some little extra stuff like the nail clipping is part of it, but I got him shaved. So it looked like he's got this little French manicure on his paws. But when I picked him up, I was in such shock that I didn't recognize him. He was a totally different looking dog. Do you hear me? But that's how quantum leaping is. It's like a change. It looks like it's a change overnight, but it's really a process to get there. You don't think in your mind that you're going to wake up and instantly be a millionaire and you ain't put in no work to be a millionaire. Oh, you can say, oh, I can win the lottery. But a person who wins the lottery and becomes a millionaire has to take the action and go get a ticket, right? So that's the way that quantum leaping works. And I'm looking at it because he is an example for me. I'm like, because I've been saying for me, I don't look the same. I don't feel the same. I'm not the same person. I've tapped into another version of me, the version of me that I want to be. That's who I walk in. And then to see my dog as a manifestation of walking into somebody completely different. His personality is different because he's a different dog. He's bougier than he used to be. I'm just saying. So I share that story to share with you. Relax. Relax in your manifestation journey. Relax in jumping timelines because you got to do the work to get to that next timeline. It's okay to see it, but you got to do the work to get there. The next version of me isn't doing certain things that this version of me is doing. But right now, I'm taking actions to be the next version of me that I want to be. Does that make sense? Hey, don't forget to subscribe and like and share. this video on my YouTube channel, on my TikTok. Don't forget to follow. Meow.